Oh, hi.
Hello, and welcome to Hellfire Club, also known as Lawfully Chaotic. Welcome and happy Halloween. This is our special Halloween episode.
The only thing
as you
special about it is us, because we're
Is-
all special.
That is true.
We all come from special parts of our own mind.
Yes, we do.
Don't you
Welcome.
know that I sell some of the best cheese? If you come and buy my cheese, it will
Are you a-
smell like your toes
Are
and
you
your
a
feet.
Viking or a Minnesotan?
I don't know if there's much of a difference depending on your perspective.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. As with me always is my Viking friend, Olaf van Ogrson,
Olaf van Åkesson.
and the good witch of the Northeast corridor.
I think she's the good witch of the Southwest.
Okay, you gotta
Southwest. She eats the tacos. You know, she's good. She's a good witch.
I enterprised in, airlines, so, I had to broaden my horizon.
Thank you for joining us. Tonight we are going to be talking about some awesome real-world places that you could visit to experience all kinds of cool fantasy realms. But first, do we have any announcements? Barrybot.
No, we have, although actually I have a special ones shot for this weekend on Saturday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time over on the D&D Club's Twitch channel for a special one shot with our DM here, Mr. Jason. So come and check us out. It should be rip-roaring fun. I will be playing part Etten, so that should be really fun.
Half of an Etten, one head of an Etten. That should be extremely interesting. I want to see that.
Yes.
Awesome. Jace, you got any announcements?
I
What are you
do.
up to now? 27 tables a week?
I just wrapped up my 5th campaign, and wow. Not only am I just like floored at how amazing it's been over the course of the last 5 weeks. So my Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday games are still going. My Tuesday night, or my Tuesday 3 to 6, my Wednesday 3 to 6, and my Wednesday 7 to 10 wrapped up. And then before that, my Denizens and Masters had wrapped up. I'm just like, I'm on cloud 9 because all those same groups I wrapped up, with the exception of the Denizens and Masters group, which was my more private group, they all wanted to do another campaign together, each of those tables.
That's awesome. Holy
So I
cow.
now have 3 second Spark tables
Awesome.
that I've
What?
reorganized and beginning to get ready to launch those. I'm floored. Yeah. So
Sweet.
got a lot going on. And I don't know. It's crazy. If you would have told me this was all possible 10 years ago, I would have been like, what? You can't be,
Well, that is-
be messing
that is-
with an old man like that.
That's fantastic. I got no
What about you, Brian?
announcements.
You're rocking the locks tonight.
I am
You look
rocking the locks, and
so
I gotta
gorgeous.
say, I think I prefer bald because this is hot as shit. I'm gonna have to lose this jacket, and then I might have to lose the hair, but we'll see how long I can hold out. No, I ran one of my games last night, my homebrew campaign, with my Primo Star group running that. I'm utilizing them as kind of I'm incorporating their decisions in helping me actually write the campaign, which is really cool.
Ooh.
And it's informed a lot of the writing that I've done. So we were playing last night, and they hit one of the encounters of one of the big bad evil guys, and it couldn't have gone more perfectly. They did an awesome job. There was one point, I won't make this a long story, but a little bit of a little bit of sorcerer's wild magic happened at one point, and they almost fireballed themselves and killed the entire party. No joke. But
Wild magic.
I had to pull the DM card and re-roll that one because that would have been a sad ending to a good story. Yeah.
You're a most merciful DM.
Yeah, I was in a good mood. So, yeah, that's all I got. So, Sharon, take us away. What are we talking about tonight?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lawfully Chaotic Special Edition of Halloween. Today, we are going to be talking about all things magical today, places that you can actually visit. We are going to walk through the many different places. I said it like 10 times right now. Sorry, folks. So these are magical, fantastical realms that you can visit yourself. So we are going to dive into the very first themed D&D place, Evermore Park.
Evermore Park.
And Jason, I heard from a bird that you've actually visited this place. Can you tell us more about it?
So when I was newly single, about 4 or 5 years ago, before I met Callista, I was in between realities. I was still working my heavily difficult corporate job. I had a weekend all to myself. I got up on a Friday morning, used a vacation day, and I drove out to this little place called Evermore Park because I think I was either on, I want to say either Ginny D or Molly, one of the two young ladies at D&D that I like to follow. And she was, I can't think of her name right now, but she was doing some stuff with the rooster. But I was like, there was this great story about supposedly this park that was D&D themed, or you could go live your D&D experience. And it was called Evermore Park out in Utah. And I drove out, just piled in the car. It was like, I think it was like only their second or third time being open, because they do like seasonal ticket
so you were
stuff.
At the beginning.
Yeah, and they do like seasonal ticket stuff. So it's not like, it was only open for a brief period of time, like their season of Aurora or their season of summer or their so you bought your ticket, you showed up, and I knew that it was brand new, so there was not really a great deal of expectation. Like brand new places, they do really excellent jobs of marketing themselves.
I was just going to say
so that when you get there, you're like, okay, there's just like 3 buildings. I don't understand. So you could tell I had a lot to go, right? But I've always wanted that experience of being somewhere for the first time, knowing that like 5-10 years later, when it was like fully evolved and flushed out, you'd have that really cool memory of what it was compared to what it became. And I always knew that in the long run. So the owners, the park owners, used to work for Disney.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they used to work for Disney. Part of their I want to say the light and magic portion of Disney.
Yep.
Which, if you see the place at night, it totally makes sense. Because at night, that place is gorgeous. Now, that being said, I went when it was cold.
Oh,
so I dressed up in all my Viking, my Kiev Roost Viking attire, and had my big hat and my big roost coat, and wandered around, and it was fun. I'm glad I did it. It was a lot of fun. Looking at what they do now, it's night and day compared to what was there before.
Right.
How so?
They have a lot more acts. They have more buildings that are done. They have more food options. The restaurant wasn't done yet. So the restaurant, which sits just outside the park, and you have to make a reservation to eat there, is gorgeous. When I was there, it was just this big, huge, gorgeous outside building that hadn't been fully realized inside yet. And now that's all done. The character involvement is a lot more. Their guild interactions are a lot more. There's a lot more people doing guilds. And it truly is it's an immersive experience. Everything you do there is fully immersive. And it's a lot of fun. It really is.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
And I can't wait to go back.
Yes, for those that have never heard of Evermore Park, basically it's this theme park out in Utah where you can actually dress up in your D&D characters, and there's actually events where you're given a quest and you actually go throughout the park and talk to different people, different characters in the park, and you're actually able to learn as you go and take these quests the lore of the entire park. and there's actually seasonal events in the park that have an ever-changing storyline to it.
So cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
amazing.
cool.
You could do archery. You could go to the tavern and meet like a dwarven, bartender there. He'll tell you tales and stories of like, youth. I haven't been there personally, but that is definitely one of my bucket list place to go. So
That's awesome. Andrew, thanks for joining us, man. Good to see you back. Very cool. I have never been to one of these places. I haven't even been to Medieval Times.
really,
Well, yeah, closest thing I've done is
That's like
the Bristol
dipping your
Renaissance
toe
Fair,
in
and yeah, right. I
Well,
know.
what you think of the Bristol Renaissance Fair? Because I think the Ren Fair should get some time. We'll talk
Yeah,
about the
I
Ren
mean,
Fair.
so Bristol is Bristol's in Racine. Well, yeah, it's right outside of Racine, Wisconsin. So it's like an hour from me. If there's no traffic, I'd probably get there in 40 minutes. But I like it. They've been there. I remember going there as a kid with my high school buddies. So it has been there forever, and it is now. I mean, I think, and somebody could probably correct me if I'm wrong, and I may very well be, but I think it started out as just like, oh hey, Jordan, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Bristol is fun, and if I remember correctly, it started as like a pop-up thing, like you would expect, like kind of traveling carnival fair. God damn it.
it's like stabbing you in the eye.
I always say that I
there's these
miss
things
hair.
called
I don't
Bobbikin.
think I really do. It's a fucking pain in the ass. So yeah, honestly, no Medieval Time. I have not been to Medieval Times. But now Bristol now is, I mean, it is a permanent fixture. Like it
Never
is.
heard of it.
It's like a city in its own right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and they do a really good job. Everybody there is in costumes, and like you said, it's very immersive. It's really cool. It's the extent of my immersive like fantasy realm IRL adventure.
So that's in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Kenosha, not Racine. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
very cool.
yeah, super close. It's right over the border.
It's so funny because I've never actually been to any of the medieval times, like Renaissance
I think the one
fairs.
in or the one over in where Knott's Berry Farm is. If it's still there.
Well, no,
I'm not
I
even
meant
sure
the Renaissance fair.
Oh, the Ren Fair. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is Knott's Berry Farm still there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Anaheim, right? Ish.
Yes.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's it's
Tustin?
like it's way
Buena
past
Park.
Anaheim. Buena Park. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Buena Park.
So next up on our list is called Good Nights, and this is actually in Canada. So what's really cool about this place is that there are actually two themed parts to this place. There is one up and coming. I went to an arcane immersive experience that was amazing. Ooh, how fun! Yeah, thank you for sharing that link.
Thanks, George.
So, Good Nights in Canada, they actually have two parts, and one part is a Lord of the Rings theme. You can actually sleep inside a hillside burrow, and you get given costumes, and you get to live and eat like a hobbit. And I love
That's awesome.
I love Lord of the Rings, and what better way to live it and breathe it than live in a hobbit burrow?
I actually think
right?
that if New Zealand was smart, they would just turn themselves into Middle Earth like full time.
Well, the burrows
Just
are
like
still
give
there,
in
am
and,
I
like-
right?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's. Oh, come on, Torch. Now you've gone too far.
No.
They are still there. The Shire is still there.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah. It's actually, I
gosh.
think, a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Shoot, oh, did
Venture. I didn't know Bristol actually is one of the biggest in the U.S. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think the second is the one in Irwindale that we have during the
Okay. Alright.
the opening season. They get like, I don't know, maybe they're open for about a month and a half. They'll get over 100,000 people that cycle through it.
Okay.
So
I mean, it takes you a good 2 to 3 hours just to make one pass through.
Yeah.
Bristol.
No way.
that Bristol's big. Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's become a little city in and of itself.
Well, and it's crazy because in Southern California, Ren Fair has a season, right? So we were just talking about the closing of the Ren Fair season coming up. So in the Southwest, we have the opening, which is Irwindale. And then we have, after Irwindale, we have Cronenberg, which is in Corona. And then after Cronenberg, we have our summer season where it's kind of too hot to do anything. So then it kicks off again in September. We have Big Bear, Idlewild, Escondido. So we have like 5 Ren Fairs that cycle every year.
Oh, I didn't know that. See,
Yeah.
Bristol is open. When they open, they're open for the entire summer.
Gotcha.
Obviously,
That's
it's a
pretty cool.
on shorter because you guys don't have winter, but
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have winters.
What's winter? I'll in a
What's
2
the
months.
snow?
In 2 months, I'll show you. I'll open my secret door back here.
Well,
I'll
and
show you.
that's really funny too, because like I was in a big meeting today with my corporate gig, and they were all laughing and talking about the snow, and there's like 25 people in the meeting, and it was like my first big meeting with everybody, and I just piped in. I go, "What is this snow you speak of? This is mystery magic. What are you doing?" And they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm in Southern California." They're like, "Oh yeah, it would be a mystery to you,
Yeah,
wouldn't
they're all like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, so for good nights in Canada, you're able to live as a hobbit, and there's also a medieval side to it where you can actually sleep in, like, I don't know if you've seen those shows where like the king has like an elaborate tent and like he gets to sleep in the
hunting
climate.
expeditions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's actually a section where you can actually sleep that way and also do archery, and I think there's sword classes too that they provide. And you
That's
get
cool.
to feast in a big hall. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it looks like their season runs from May 13th to August or October 1st,
Yes.
which is really, and what I'm really happy to see is it's an up-to-date website, right? Because let's be honest, a lot of these places that suddenly appear could just as easily disappear when
Right.
Oh, yeah.
theme-centric places struggle to find an audience, right?
Yeah.
So, and it looks like they have plans for 2023, and they started in 2017. So I feel like that's a place you can rely on. You know, I think that's
Yes.
awesome. Oh my God, that would be stay in a castle formerly owned by William Shatner
No way.
for sale in
That's a thing?
Kentucky.
Kentucky, that's drivable from me. I gotta look that up.
I know.
Well, that reminds me. Where's the D&D in a castle thing? That's in England, right?
That's in England.
I think Scotland has one, and I think
Scotland?
England has one too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they've become like almost like traveling packages to a certain degree. You know,
Okay.
like theme packages. I know the one that D&D Beyond did, which is
Yeah.
one I know that me and Barry probably are referencing.
Okay.
A group of the professional D&D developers, creators, whatever, went and did a fun session in the England one, and I'm pretty sure there's a British one too. Scottish one. British England,
Okay.
I
right?
think that's so smart too.
So I
like-
would
Oh,
assume,
yeah.
yeah. So I figured that's what it was, where you go whatever it is, 3-4 days, and it's a whole package, and you just play D&D the whole time. That would be mind blowing.
That would be awesome.
I don't know what
right?
I'd want to do more: sit down and play D&D, or run around actually with swords and run around the castle and fight each other.
You'll be hiding in one of the suits of armor.
Just his Hellfire Club hair sticking out.
Yeah,
Ever
so
since
we'll
Brian-
be
Ever since Brian dressed up, he just can't give up the long hair. It's like, it's my real hair.
I'm
Don't
about
make
3
fun."
minutes from taking it off because I am like my neck is just soaked.
What do you mean, Brian?
I
Yeah.
was like, come on, flourish.
Well, I don't
Valley
know what
boy.
this. I think this wig is made
Flourish.
of like horsetail hair or something because it is uncomfortable.
Well, I think, and the one thing I love about these things like Evermore Park, the good nights in Canada, I think there's a real want for people to want to be outside again, amongst people and enjoy like fantasy
that's
again,
awesome.
post-COVID.
all in
Oh wow! So
costume.
they have specific DMs. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to run some games, and I'm gonna have to run some games in England in a fucking castle.
Oh, speaking of which, have you guys heard about the D&D cruises?
I think
They have
so.
they have D&D cruises now. Callista found I think Royal Norwegian that you buy a whole package to play D&D on a cruise ship.
Like a full-size cruise ship.
Yeah, like the real deal.
So there's like
Real boat,
3,000 people playing D&D on a boat.
On a boat.
That's
Not
the
sure how I
rumors.
feel about that.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like just hopping on the bandwagon.
Oh, come on. That bandwagon's full of nerds. It'll be okay.
Okay. So you can go on a cruise and play D&D and get Nova virus or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, brother. Fight some sharks at sea. All right, so those are the places that you can visit as a park. Now, have you guys ever wanted to eat or drink at a D&D themed restaurant?
Why, yes, I have.
You have? Well,
I have.
let me tell you about the multiples of places that you can actually go to experience this. Feast like a king, drink like a bard. So, first up is TPK Brewery in Portland, Oregon, where it's a TTRPG brew pub that offers newbies and dice goblins alike for a actually D&D themed brews, and also you're welcome to join their campaign
There you
as
go.
well.
Lawfully Chaotic
On a
live on a cruise ship.
Would probably catch on fire.
Yeah, I would. We might need more than you seven who join us faithfully every week. Although I guess if it's a small enough boat, it'd be perfect. So,
well, and Barrett, since you bring up the TPK Brewing, I've always wanted to open up a D&D themed coffee house where like all the coffee is named after D&D references.
That's
like,
cool.
Drow extra dark, or bold orc, or just lucky feet, whatever. Just like have a real fun kind of like D&D theme around
Barboldian brew.
Yeah, and just it's so
Baldur's
easy.
Brew.
Yeah,
Baldur's
I love it.
Brew.
Baldur's Brew, right? I love
there you go.
Baldur's Gate Bowel Mover. That's one of Brian's friends. Because he's of that age group where they worry about that.
Oh, so are these, Sharon, are these specifically restaurants, or are these like taverns where you can go play games and also do coffee and drinks?
Well, for TPK Brewery, it is a place to just imbibe and also play D&D. What's really cool is that they offer small scale campaigns for newbies and, just casual gamers alike. But there's also a themed campaign with the brewery called the Layfarer's Chronicle that you can actually join in on. And there are actually themed beers for what happens in the campaign as well as the season, like the climate. So I thought that was really cool. Like,
that's cool.
If a castle's in siege, they're gonna release like a castle brew that's like, Castle Siege or something. So I think that's really interesting, and they're actually going to be opening in spring of next year. So.
And where are they? Portland.
Yes.
Oregon or Maine?
Portland, Oregon.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, what do we got next?
All right.
God, this has got me going back down my rabbit hole of like all the places. I mean, like all the like the game shops. It's funny because I know we're talking about eateries and stuff like that, and looking at the Splintered Wand when Barry sent that out, that is just so cool. That's just so cool.
Yes. So that's actually next up on our list. All you wizened wizards and wobbly woozy wizards.
Wobbly
Have you ever
gobblies?
wanted to go to a pub and imbibe and regale all tales of old? Well, look no further to the Splintered One in Seattle, where the Wizard Bar is owned by Jeffrey Thaddeus Constantine Balk, a centuries-old wizard that happens to use that title in interviews as well.
Oh my god,
And
that's
what's really
awesome.
interesting about this place is that there's an alchemist section where you can brew your own special potions and also dine with dragon bones. So there's actually a small, fun little fact about this restaurant. Not only is it owned by wizards, but there is a body of a skeleton that's at the bar. It appears that it was a wizard that a long time ago kind of passed out and never left.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, this place looks phenomenal.
Well, I was just looking at their menu, the names, right? That to me, that's always the fun part when you do things like this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, to make it immersive when they come up with the cool names, you know, like the cauldron cake, the
Uh-huh.
spitting fizzle nest, the clinging toffee pudding.
Clinging toffee pudding.
Yeah, they've got where's the one I saw that looked really, really funny? The deviled eggs, which fits, you know, it's always good. Tadpole in a hole. I thought that was pretty cool. I love stuff like that. I think it's just such a great way to like. The one thing I really love about this list and about all the ideas of places like this, if you find yourself,
Not
if
that
you-
big.
if you find
I'm
yourself,
sure they've asked that question at least once.
you know, if you find yourself being like isolated, you know, like you feel like you're an only nerd and you end up at places like this, you just kind of suddenly you meet a couple more people that are just as nerdy.
Yeah.
And before long, you've got a group of maybe 4 or 5 like-minded people. You may get a game out of it. You may,
Yeah.
you know, your D&D centric conversation, and then suddenly you guys agree to have beers or whatever and chill out and play a game. I just love immersive places like this. It's just so cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
it's
so
really fun to
cool.
visit. Yeah, so and this bar is actually open to y'all to visit, so be sure to check it out in Seattle. We'll be sure to drop links to their Instagram and whatnot. Yeah, it's such a really fun place. The Splintered Wand. That's such a perfect name for a
Yeah.
wizard pub. What would you guys name your
Diagon Alley.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, copy strike.
Demonetized.
Chat, I'm curious, what would you name your D&D themed or wizard themed restaurant or bar? I'd love to hear it. I think Dimension Door would be fun because you could have
That
a
is-
rotating theme.
Actually, that is a really clever name.
Yeah.
Because you are entering a different
I agree. I
a
like
different
that
world.
Exactly. And it's right on the nose with the D&D spell.
It is.
name. I'm not sure how your local
So-
commerce.
So-
I'm not sure how your local commerce would appreciate that. Although I do appreciate it. But you're.
or the salty mermaid.
I sometimes get very like thematic about the. Ooh, I like that. I like the
Bard's
Bard's
Bodega.
Bodega.
Bard's
I like that.
Bodega.
The medieval tapas
And you
place.
do karaoke
Yeah,
there
I
or
love that.
something?
Well,
or
and
live performances from artists?
I
That
built
would
so
be
many.
so fun.
I enjoy building so much content. I always find myself getting lost in the idea that my taverns and inns that I build for in game could become real. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Exactly. And they brought that into the real world, and I think that's so fun.
so cool, so cool.
So the last and very certainly not least, we have the Griffin and Gargoyle in Wisconsin. This is the
Wisconsin?
birthplace of Gary Gygax, D&D itself. Oh, it is.
And an hour from me. An hour and a half.
So for all of you, this is an adventurous bar and restaurant with a wizard antiquity shop that is attached. That's called the Curated Curiosities. And what's really great about this place is not only that you could sit and eat and experience all things medieval and D&D, but you could also actually shop from actual artisans and get your adventuring gear, anything like your clothes, your wands, your utility belt of awesome, And you can find that all here. And then
I love that part. The Gnome Alchemist, right? That's the bar, right, Bear?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
When is this place supposed to open? I need to go up there.
2024.
Yes, in 2024.
Very cool.
So I do have a little surprise for you, which I plan on taking my significant other to. We have a restaurant here in Southern California called the Hobbit Restaurant.
What?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's in Orange County, and it's called the Hobbit Restaurant. I dropped the link in the chat. It is absolutely amazing, and I'll be booking that place for a very special thing I have planned for me and my significant other. So, yes. It'll be both a dating anniversary on top of another plan I have in mind.
Oh, it doesn't look necessarily. It looks like the menu is
right. The menu is very Hobbit themed.
Right,
but
the restaurant it's not like a immersive thing. Actually, it looks like a very nice restaurant.
It is, but it's their wine cave that has their wine basement. It feels like you're inside the Green Dragon tavern from The Hobbit.
That's cool.
Only it's all wine
throw it up
theme,
on
right?
screen.
It's all like
I
a
wanna
wine house theme.
No way. How am I barely finding out about this? Ooh.
I mean, it looks very fancy. They don't
Very
have
fancy.
gallery.
Which webpage are you on? The one I put in there?
The Hobbit Restaurant.
Oh, interesting. Because when I land on their page, I get their home. Go to their homepage because their homepage has all their gallery shots.
Oh wait, that's Ocean City. Oh my God, that's
the wrong one, my friend.
That's Ocean City.
That's probably like another branch.
Huh.
That's in Virginia.
Yeah, that's the wrong link that you went to.
Well,
that's weird.
Well, now we know that there's two.
the link's in the chat. It should be that link I put in the private chat or the comments.
We'll check it out later. We should do much time. Move on.
He's such a technically challenged person. We do need to get him a production designer for sure. For absolute sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so these are all the D&D themed parks and restaurants. Yeah. Which places have you guys wanted to go to from this list? Man,
I want to go to the Griffin and the Gargoyle only because it's close by, but otherwise,
you should go to the Knights one. That's pretty close to you. Canada's not that far, right?
Yeah, it's only a hop away.
Depends where in Canada.
Alberta, I think.
Alberta, isn't that at the top?
I love how you talk about a country's location as having a top.
That's where all the snow is, I think.
Oh my God, this is I promised myself I wasn't going to go down this rabbit hole, but I can't help it. There are a lot of people doing this now. Like there's
Venture,
restaurants. It's crazy.
Venture, Berrybot, and Storyteller TTRPG Academy. Jason are from LA or thereabouts, and I'm in Chicago,
Southern California.
Yeah.
Where the sun shines.
Where the sun shines. Okay, I think I'm going to have to de-wig myself because I can't take this anymore. This is like a prisoner of war camp torture. So I'm going to lose the hair.
You will suffer for your passion.
Oh, you should have headbanged it off.
Oh my God. That's brutal.
Air.
This is Eddie Munson 50 years later. If he didn't die. Oops.
Hey. Yeah, so I actually really like that people went out of their way to create these places, especially like I really love the fact with Evermore Park that you're able to like actually dress in your D&D character and actually go on D&D like quests. Like there's actually a tavern with dwarves and like there's
that's really cool.
Yeah, you're basically it's like taking Skyrim quests. Oh, and then what's really cool is that you actually level up in the park too. Like, oh, you level up with the guilds that you join. So there's different factions that you could actually join. You could join like the Rangers Guild or
Mhm.
That's cool.
yeah, it's
And like
so
every
cool.
hour, you could become an initiate. So, and what's really cool about that, it's a good that I'm glad you brought that one back up, Eric, because I've forgotten about that. What's really cool is that you don't have to like be an official member of the park to start up a guild. You could just roll in, and if you have enough people in your group that go on a regular basis during the season, you just start your own guild. And
Ooh.
you create your own immersive experience that invites people to be initiated into your guild. So there's like Viking guilds, the Nightwalker guilds, and the goblins, and the orcs, and the pygmies, and there's
That's
like all
cool.
these different guilds, and a lot of these are just sponsored by people who go on a regular basis, and they, they're so immersed into the experience that they just totally get into it, and they build guilds, and then they do events within the park to, I'll say the only thing I think they really need to work on, and I don't know what the restrictions are, they need to work on the food choices. When I went there,
What's wrong with the food?
well, there's not enough choices. It's so limited.
The oldie Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, no, it's not that. It's just they don't let you bring food from the outside in. So if you have an actual diet restriction, it could be very challenging, right?
Okay.
But I think if you're a park that says you're not allowed to bring in food, then you should have a pretty robust offering of food. And I think, I think like anything, developing a food menu, developing a safe preparation and a safe, food, setting up food menus is not easy. It takes a lot of effort. So,
How long have they been around?
5 years now, I want to say.
Oh, well,
I'm actually
okay. There you go. I mean, that's still relatively young.
not even that.
Yeah.
Actually, not even that long. I'm looking at their history date. It might be 3 or 4 years, actually.
What?
Yeah.
And they've grown. Oh my gosh, they've actually grown a lot since then.
Yeah, maybe
Holy
This
4
cow.
D&D, I'm gonna go out on a limb. This D&D thing, I think it's gonna catch on.
D&D? Yeah. I mean, I just barely heard about it.
Just recently, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange.
That's awesome. Now I want to open like a themed brew pub. Actually, there's a place literally down the street from me. It's like 4 blocks from here, called Snakes and Lattes. Hey, Andrew, have you actually been over there, or did you just? That's where they were going to set up the bachelor party, but ended up not. I have yet to be over there. So I don't know if anybody in the Chicago area has actually been over there and how good it is. I need to check that out. I may actually do that this weekend. Maybe next weekend. Okay, so he just went over there, but he didn't go. He didn't go too far in. So I'll have to check that out. But I think there are a lot of like D&D theme brew pubs opened up of themed rooms for playing. That's cool. Like gaming pubs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really want to do that. I really want to find a local pub to me.
Same.
And I want to dedicate like once or twice a night to going there and like sponsoring, a live game, within a pub environment. I think that would be awesome.
Where's the new one in Chicago opening? That is
Evermore opened September of 2018. So they've been open for only 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and speaking of like pubs, there's actually this one that I go to frequently. It's called Guild Hall, and you could actually play your board games there, your D&D games there as well. And it's encouraged actually this week that you get to dress up in like your D&D character costume. And what's fun though is that these pubs, the cast of Critical Role has actually been there. There's actually signed copies of their posters from Campaign 1 and Campaign 2 there.
Oh, yeah?
really great. I hope to crash into them one of these days and scare the fuck out of them.
You know, when it's good when they were in Chicago, I found out when they were in Chicago to do that live show downtown. The bar that they went to that night afterwards just to hang out is also 4 blocks down the street the other way.
Oh, that's funny.
No.
I was
That's
like,
hysterical.
fuck.
Yeah. So
I texted Marisha to let me know where they were, but surprisingly enough, she didn't text me back.
no.
And I'm not joking.
I wonder what the effort is, though. You know, I wonder what that effort must be to open a place like that. Because
Yeah.
is it risky when you focus on a theme to open up a place?
Yeah, I think if you have alcohol, I mean, how risky could it be? I mean,
Well, I don't know.
And I think it
Depends on where you open up at and what the effort is to get an
alcohol
license.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
in Chicago, it's risky because getting licenses out here is like, I mean, it's fucking Chicago. So
Well,
let your
California, we
imagination
have
run wild.
California, we have the lottery system for licenses. So it's like every year you pay a flat amount of money to get into the lotto that you may never get picked. That's why licenses become so expensive, especially ones that are grandfathered in. So, you know, when I look at all these themed areas, like these themed ideas,
Are you talking about Map Room? Because that's 2 blocks from my house.
that's
What's that?
crazy.
Yeah, Map Room.
All right, Brian, you're gonna be our foodie for the show.
Yeah, Map Room. Map Room it's very cool. Their beer menu is like fucking ridiculous. They've got about 17,000 beers, and that is literally at the end of my street. So yeah, I think I was just gonna say, Jason, I agree with you. I think it depends on how difficult it is in your area to get a liquor license. In Chicago, it's virtually impossible. Unless you've got either corporate backing or a lot of money to dump into people's pockets. So,
yeah, I believe there's even like a Star Wars themed and a Harry Potter themed bar here in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah, no joke. Star Wars bar?
Yeah, there's a Star Wars bar. I should have included that in the link. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, I forget what it's called, but I think there's even like a Star Wars bar in the Disneyland part.
Oh yeah, well there's a whole Star Wars area in the
yeah
I
haven't been to
Star Wars experience.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. I'm off my game. I'm exhausted. I apologize. I've been doing a lot of housework past couple of weeks and it's caught up with me. So my brain is working on about 2 cylinders. So
your brain is
Galaxy's Edge. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
And the cantina. Yes. Whoops. The cantina. Yeah. And Galaxy's
Edge.
Ithaca Potter Festival every year around October that takes over the whole town that is freaking awesome. The whole town takeover.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
for a 3-day weekend.
Wow,
that
would be
amazing.
Something.
The Potter Festival. I love that.
That would be something.
Wow, I've never even heard of that. That sounds sounds like so much fun.
It's funny because a few years ago, I think it was season 2 of Stranger Things. So what was that? 3 years ago? I happened to be in LA at the time, and the old Tower Records location on Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, they had taken that over and done a whole like Stranger Things pop up. They turned it into the Starcourt Mall, and they had billboards all up and down Sunset promoting it, and you could go in, and it was really freaking awesome.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, wasn't like the recent Comic-Con they were promoting the D&D movie?
They were promoting what?
They were promoting the D&D movie, and they actually had like a full-on D&D themed bar as well. Like, oh guys, I don't know if you've seen it. When they were promoting is it the Den of Thieves? We did a review on it for the D&D movie. So, they actually had
Oh,
a
wow.
themed bar where, like, they had, like, audio visual of, like, a dragon flying over the bar, and and they had
That's
D&D
cool.
themed drinks, and they had, like, a museum, like, there is a demand for it. It's
There's
there.
there's a huge demand for it. I have no doubt that if it's done right, there's a huge demand for it. I think. I mean, I don't know. This is complete conjecture, but I think it's probably a balancing act between being like too nerdy, you know, if and too commercial. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but you could say that.
if you walk in and you're gonna feel out of place if you're not actually playing D&D, that's probably not a good thing. However,
Fair.
if you walk in and it's all cheeseball and to your point, there's a ye old Taco Bell or McDonald's, it's gonna be like,
Right.
so probably
I would love to visit a ye old Taco Bell.
Cesare, what does too nerdy mean? What do you mean too nerdy?
you know what I mean.
Embrace it.
Chaz, you know what I mean. But yeah, so I think it's probably like, for me, I would like a really immersive, visual and audio experience. But one where you could feel comfortable either going to find a game and talk games, D&D, whatnot, or just go have a drink or whatever. So
That's fair. Excuse me.
bless you.
Bless you.
No, that's fair. And I guess that's an interesting point because, like, I think visiting Star Wars Land is interesting, but it feels sold out. Like, it feels commercial.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But I've heard, I've never been able to get reservations, but I heard when you go into the cantina, it feels cool like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's that feeling and that balance that you're trying to strike. You want to be, you want to be immersive. You want to give.
That ruins it. That ruins it also. When ye old hamburger is like $47.
But it's like, it's always that balance, right? It's that balance of, does it look too slick and too modern?
Yeah.
Or does it look like something people feel like they can immerse themselves into? It's a tough one.
To your point, about sold out, it has to feel like, if it feels like that, it's going to fail. So I think the risk, and I know what I was going to say. To your original point of how risky it is, I think the risk involves picking your sub-demographic and not trying to cater to everyone, even within this demographic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or pick the gamers and stick to it. And I'm not saying don't make other people feel like they're not welcome, but it should definitely have a feel to it. To keep up the illusion that it is someplace special.
Right.
And I think that's part of the problem is once you try to cater to the fans, but then also like the family that just wants to go have a meal
and a beer,
it's already like
it's like, it's uncomfortable sitting there watching all these people be hyper weird.
Or the other way around.
It
feels uncomfortable to be hyper weird, with
staring at some old curmudgeon sitting at a table, just
right, looking at you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
I think it would be funny.
And you know what? Torchseer brings up something that turned me on to the whole immersive experience when I was a kid. In Southern California, we had the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah.
In Bolsa Chica Beach. So you could go to an old theater that could only ever could show one movie. And they used to run the Rocky Horror Picture Show from Halloween all the way to the following year. And that was my very first experience with this idea of, cultural immersion, like
Yeah.
a fan topic that people love, and you're all there having a shared immersive experience. That
Do
really
they still show movies at the Hollywood Cemetery?
I don't know. That's a good
They
question.
used to show movies at the Hollywood Cemetery also.
During Halloween, I think, right?
Yeah.
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 I don't know. That's a good question.
It's
Oh
weird
my
that
God.
it's weird that I know so much about your guys' town.
Speaking of if they ever build a restaurant or
Oh, wow.
an immersive thing based on Arcane, I'm there. I love that
Yeah.
series. That was such an amazing. And I know Arcane's not D&D, but it was so D&D. Like the story, the characters was just so bomb, so good.
I feel the same about.
Oh, there's a LARP thing I wanted to share with you guys.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up because this is an amazing story. It's called Battle of the Ring. Battle of the Rings.
That I've seen, not personally, but that I've seen, Andrew. Yeah, they did the whole score of Star Wars.
I want to see a live score of either God of War or like the Dark Souls games. Like that's my dream right there.
That would be awesome.
Sorry, sidebar, but
None of this is sidebar. But I don't think we're focusing on D&D because that is king. D&D is king in this world, and that is what is as popular as you can get now. But I mean, we've mentioned Star Wars, we've mentioned Harry Potter. It could be anything. I mean, it could be a fucking Old West. It could be Cyberpunk. I mean, anything if done right. I actually think it would be really freaking cool to open up either. And I'm sure it has to exist. Yeah, almost like Westworld, but without all the deadly robots killing you.
Well, because like when you think about like nerd stuff, you think either like D&D or Star Wars. Like,
yeah, basically.
Really.
But it would be really cool to open up either a large enough multi-floor bar/restaurant.
Oh, Westworld, yeah, that would
or a hotel. And it has themed areas. So here's your Star Wars area, here's your D&D area, here's your Cyberpunk area. That would be freaking awesome.
So there's this really cool LARP event that I've been to a couple times. It's called Battle for the Ring. And every year they post it on Kickstarter. And it's just, they run it through Kickstarter. So everybody has a stake in it, right? Like, and I know there's, lifesteal, LARPing, SCA, reenactment. There's all these different methods that we can immerse ourselves in certain things. But I've always been a fan of LARPing. I think it's a great way for young communities to come together and really build their own kind of like youth groups and like their own kind of youthful approach to how they view fantasy and how they can get together and experience their version of fantasy. And I've always loved the idea of this being a part of did we lose Bri?
Yes.
He's almost back. I think he hotkeyed himself. He totally did. But what I really love about their commitment is they do it through Kickstarter. So as long as you fund it through Kickstarter, if you're a member of their Kickstarter funding, that's essentially your ticket to get in.
Okay.
So self-promotion, community promotion drives everybody to the Kickstarter. And if you really want the event to go off, there's such a group investment and like such a an energy to it, and it's in a local place near me. It's in Chino Hills, at Prado Park, and it's a fun time. It's a really fun time. Go ahead, Bear.
I was just gonna oh my god!
Oh, now he did that on purpose. God
Don't
damn
make
it.
me cast a spell on you to grow like hair that goes down to the floor.
I don't know if
how's that.
I will make that happen.
I don't know. Yeah,
I want that spell. Curse me.
I don't know if that was.
I'm gonna make you Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
But I was gonna say that I think it's really cool that there are these places and events for people to live out their fantasy, whatever it may be. It's really cool to have that ambitious spirit and entrepreneurial spirit to actually breathe that to life and actually have a place for people to come and visit and do that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's why, like, like Disneyland, for example, that's why they're so freaking successful, is because they're bringing the tales of what people have grown up with or have been around and bring it to life. That's why there's so many people coming. And I think
Mm-hmm.
with D&D, I think there's huge potential for that. I think it's at the ground floor right now, but people are starting to gain traction and starting to make these places come to life. And like I like the fact that there are separate places for that. It's not like one giant conglomerate place. Like I'm not even sure if like would you think D&D Beyond or the Wizards of the Coast would ever want to create a park like that? Do you think that's something that they would do?
No.
No, because I think major corporations. I know I've been there, Ches. I think major corporations always have to satisfy the very first question: can it be profitable?
Yeah.
And if they don't feel like it can be profitable within a certain box of time of effort, they won't do it.
Yeah, again, I agree. I could see like Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars thing, or Harry Potter thing. But I could see a D&D world within like Disneyland or Epcot. But I think a whole, I can't believe Knott's Berry Farm is around still. I mean, I went to that when I was like fucking 8 years old. But it's you what you said is all true, Barry, and it's also a way to escape. It's escapism. It's like let's just have fun and forget about the shit of the world for a while, and and enjoy it with.
Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, enjoy it with like-minded people.
Well, yeah, and that's also like the spirit of Halloween too. Like you get to dress up and be something different. Like these are places for you guys to experience that. Like, and that's what D&D is too. You're putting on a different person and playing out a story.
Here's what I'm going to open. I just had this brilliant idea. This is going to be my fantasy themed D&D plays. It's going to be a huge open venue. And it's going to be LARPing. It's going to be, those human chess boards? Like it's large scale.
Oh, yeah. From like Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be D&D, and people are going to play D&D, but instead of minis, they're going to move people around, and people are going to act out D&D. So when you say like, okay, I go and cast Fireball, then you're the wizard, and you have to, it's going to be.
That's fun. It sounds like a lot of chaos.
Okay, maybe not. Yeah, that's the end game of like Wall-E, where everybody is just like 7,000 pounds in this chair with VR on. That's going to be. By the way, we still gotta play that mini golf game, Andrew. We've been trying to hook up on Oculus for like 3 fucking weeks.
You know what? I think honestly, it does have potential to become a park or something. I think at least maybe 20 or 30 years down the line, because I mean D&D's already starting to like, make a movie, and they're building a franchise out of it. I mean, slowly but surely. I think it would be really cool.
I think it would be awesome. I mean, I would go. I did just remember on Oculus there is actually Andrew turned me onto it. There's a game called Demio, which is basically playing D&D. Like you see your hand and you have minis and you pick up your minis, and it's literally like playing D&D around a table, and you can see each other because it's VR.
Whoa.
As against as much as I'm against D&D becoming a video game in its own right, this game is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Okay.
Our hour is up.
yeah, I think we wrap there. Oops, wrong one. Rumors of a D&D world.
Yeah, I'd
well,
heard
see,
that. Yeah,
there you
I'd heard
go.
that too.
Yes, I'm calling it.
We should like get all of these people that we've met, all of us who've met all each other and all these people during the pandemic remotely who, like, I've never met you guys in person. We all need to like congregate somewhere in person and have just like a monster weekend.
That'd be fun.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding us. How's your staff coming?
Look at her
3 miles,
face.
I'm on you.
I know you, buddy. I know you.
We're gonna have
I actually have the staff. I'm actually considering which materials to use for the yes. Universal Studios, yes.
Yeah, see,
Halloween Haunt is
apparently
great,
it's a
by the way.
shitty idea because nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, so already have a staff ready. I just need to figure out the materials I need to put
Okay.
for Mayor's staff. I'm not sure if I need to use Warbler because it is a base wooden staff. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's Warbler or like foam needs to be applied to it.
Reach out to our buddy Marsman.
Yeah, and
also, since you are doing not only like a craft build, but a cosplay prop, check out on Instagram. This woman is just unfrickin' believable if you like cosplay. Hold on. God damn it.
like honestly, I love it when people cosplay, by
How
the
do you
way.
type,
I've always
Brian?
wanted to
We
go
went
to
over this
Comic-Con.
before.
Hmm?
Brian asked, "How do you type? How do computers work, Brian?"
No, I can't remember her I can't remember her actual screen name because it's spelled weird. God damn it.
Papers.
Keep talking
Yeah,
because
so
I want to
I'm
find
really
this.
looking forward to that, and I'm also thinking about. I mean, I'm gonna try to make light up crystals. I mean, I feel like that's
Ooh.
gonna be a little bit overwhelming for me.
Well, keep in mind if you go to a lot of the hobby stores, Bear, they have a lot of like small LED wire lights and like lights that you can put into like plastic crystals and stuff like that. You can do it. I mean, look at your light show going on behind you. You got it.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I'm just like I have to breathe and then actually do it. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
I gotta show you guys my new dragon that one of my players painted for me. It's a fey dragon.
Really?
Oh wow. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. It's colorful too.
It's basically I think it's the ancient white dragon, and I have plenty of white
Whoa.
dragons, so I had her go creative, and she painted it fey style. So it's meant to be a fey dragon.
Does it breathe glitter and fire and glitter?
Farts cotton candy and breathes
There you
jelly
go.
beans.
That's how you know it's
Okay, Sharon, I'm gonna have to send you the her feed because she's unbelievable with her cosplay work. So I will send it to you. I apologize, I can't find it right now.
I'm excited to take a look.
Cool. Okay, let's
wrap it up.
Well, thank you, Dorito. I'll be sure to check that out for the LED light strings. Because I was thinking of making the base at the bottom and then kind of like wiring it around because the crystals are at the bottom. And I'm going to have to etch runes and stuff like that. So it's a lot of detail work. So that's why I was thinking of using Warbler or something.
Yeah.
I don't know where to get that, but I'll figure it out.
We'll talk offline. Awesome. Well, this was like I said, I am admittedly not very versed in this stuff, as I said. And the only place that I've been to is Ren Fair, but I'm gonna have to start checking out these places because they look just amazing, just really amazing.
And some of them are up and coming.
Yeah,
so
totally.
You have time to book your reservations now and be the first ones in line.
All right,
Awesome.
rollies.
All right, rollies.
We're doing rollies! Yay!
Yes. All right, here we go. I got the. My unlucky die has not been so unlucky, although I just dropped it. God darn it! All right, told you I'm firing on 2 cylinders here.
I hear you.
I got a 6.
Hold on.
I got a
Chat
10.
rollies if you want.
I can't see the damn thing.
Put on your magical spectacles.
I got an 8. I took them out. I put on the contacts to go with the Eddie Munson, and I can barely see anything.
What'd you get?
I got an 8.
You're
up,
up,
Chase.
out.
Awesome.
So, everybody, as always, we are here to celebrate some very immersive experiences, and thank you all for joining us. I can't stress it enough. Community is important. This community that we're building together, and when you guys come and hang out with us, and those that come and watch us later on, the point of community is to create your own groups that either are coming together for purposes of playing or having a good conversation, have a drink over a beer, have a meal, and talk about this amazing thing we call play. And when you're playing, you're practicing parts of your brain you never get to use. And with that, Brian, where can we find you?
RPG&Co. Instagram is the best, but check out my link tree. Also, our linktree/RPG&Co. I gotta look at it actually to see what it is.
And
But,
Barry, where can we find you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another special episode of Lawfully Chaotic Halloween Edition. You can find me over here at BarryBot at Instagram, and you can also catch me on Saturdays, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time over at the D&D Club's Twitch channel for the Graying Lands campaign, where I play a druid Kalistar named Mayra. Where can we find you, Storyteller?
Ooh, Storyteller, you can find me over at TTRPG Academy over at Twitch, where you can find all of our socials. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. If you're looking for that professional DM to run your game, hit me up, join us on our Discord, or just have a conversation with me and I'll help you learn how to set up a game online, and we'll talk about getting you a community together and getting you and your friends playing and having a good old time. And as I always like to say,
wait, happy Halloween, y'all.
oh yeah, Halloween,
Happy
everybody. We'll see
Halloween.
you next week.
And now say,
Be safe, be kind, and play a game. It's good for your mental health. Bye, everybody.
Hi, thank you for joining us.